Christian here, or as I go by my nickname here, Set. And before I get into the Pere Marquette 1225 Memories Part 2 video, I just want to flat out state that you're going to notice this video is a little on the uneven side. When I originally recorded this back in December of 2018, when I was recording all the memory videos, trying to pull specific memories and stuff like that, for some reason, I couldn't remember how I did the first Pere Marquette 1225 video. I sat there thinking that I had ended with the North Pole Express in 2017. Well, I found out I was wrong. I only went up to the Howell Melon Fest of 2017 because me and Action recorded it. So now, as I sit here re-recording the first half of this video, I will talk about 2017 after the Howell Melon Fest. So, when me and Action came back from the 2017 Howell Melon Fest, we had considered it at that point our best chase in 2017, knocking out the Norfolk and Western 611 on the Cavalier excursion between Lynchburg and Petersburg, Virginia. When the Pere Marquette 1225 schedule came out in 2017, I was initially on the fence about the Curwood Highlander. There were some shots that I really wanted to get from the 75th anniversary excursion, chase-wise, that we were not able to get, going with the Kyland Elevator, the curve at Alma, the curve in Ithaca, and there was just a few other trackside shots along the way, including a shot in Shepherd, Michigan. When I first saw the Curwood Highlander, I was initially on the fence. I didn't know whether I wanted to go or not, and then I saw they had throttle time the Sunday right after the Curwood Highlander. So I decided, because I really wanted to have throttle time with the 1225, that I was going to chase the Curwood Highlander on Saturday and enjoy my throttle time on Sunday. I purchased the first throttle time experience ticket on Sunday they had, which was for like 7:30 in the morning or maybe 8. I actually don't remember. I just remember it was early during the sunrise. Anyhow, I remember going into the Curwood Highlander, just remembering the shots that I wanted to get of the 1225, and I was tracing it out on Google Maps, trying to see how many spots I wanted to get, how many spots I didn't want to get. And when the day of the Curwood Highlander happened, I had a solid list of places I wanted to go to. I had a few maybe spots. I just wanted to see how fast we were going to go. Because I knew Action had pretty much used up his vacation time with both Chicago and the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum and a few other personal things he had going on that year, I went and asked my grandfather. And plus two, I figured I would use my grandfather for a few additional shot setup. Now, when I came out of the 2017 Curwood Highlander, for the next year, I would honestly say up until the 844 chase, which a little bit of childhood bias was with that, that was my favorite chase I'd ever done. I considered that my best, and looking back at it now for a memories video, I think it could have been better. Even though it is our channel's most popular video, even I will admit it could have been done better. I caught way too early and way too many spots instead of trying to get the whole consist. At that point, I was too worried, didn't know how many times I would catch the 1225, so I just kept cutting. And afterwards, I kind of realized how much that did kind of screw up some of my shots. But regardless, that was still one of my favorite chases. The 1225 put on a great show that day because of how cold it was. We got a great display of smoke, steam, and everything else, and yeah. After the Curwood Highlander, I got throttle time with the 1225 the next day, and even though the 1225 and the 765 are very similar, it was amazing to me just how different they were in the cabs. You know, 765 and 1225 were both built by the Lima Locomotive Works. The 1225 was built in 1941, whereas the 765 was built in 1944. And going in the cab of the 1225, it had a screw reverser instead of the reverser that you pulled. If you've ever been inside of the 765's cab, which I'm showing some footage from that day, you'll see what I mean about the reverser, whereas the 1225 is a screw. You basically turn it. The 1225 is a bell that rings instead of a hammer bell, where the hammer makes the bell ring. But for the first few seconds of it, the bell was on, and then I ran back and forth in the yard for a half hour. When my last run came, I asked the guy behind me, who was the legendary Dan Pluta, if I could ring the bell for Grappa, you know, turn the bell thing on, because I wanted to just, you know, I just wanted to do my last run by with the bell on. He said, well, we got to put on a show for Grappa. As we were moving forward, he had me open the cylinder cocks, which he helped me open, as you see in the footage on the screen. It provided for some great video, and he even told me to blow the whistle for Grandpa. And after that, that was honestly probably one of the best road trips I had taken in 2017, and it was some great memories with my grandfather. Moving forward, I then went that year to chase the North Pole Express, which for the longest time was our most popular video until the Curwood Highlander overtook it at some point in 2018. The North Pole Express in 2017, a lot like the Curwood Highlander. I liked it. I'm glad I shot it when I did, because that was the last time currently the 1225 appeared without the flying number boards, which we'll go over when we cut to the voiceover that I recorded in 2018. They put the flying number boards up on the last North Pole Express of 2017. But anyhow, when I chased it, the flying number boards were off, and once again, it was a great chase with the 1225. There isn't too many spots to get it at. You can get it about maybe 3 to 4 to even pushing it 5 times if you know what you're doing. But as always, the 1225 put on a great show. Those are also some of my first real night shots. I did partake in a night session at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. It wasn't a night shot with the steam locomotive. Well, we had gotten close with the Viscount 6 in December of 2016, and when the Norfolk and Western 611 crossed over the bridge entering Lynchburg after a great chase with the Cavalier excursion, the shots that were taken of the 1225 in 2017 were our first actual nighttime shots of a steam locomotive, and I thought they turned out pretty cool. I missed my last shot due to the fact that we literally got a snowstorm. It was hard to even drive, and I was actually initially considering on cutting out after Carlin, but ignorant me wanted to go to Bannister, and I missed the train. Anyhow, that concludes the 2017 memories part of the video, and now we will cut into the 2018 part. This is solely going to be just 2018. This is a part 2 video like the Nickel Plate Road 765. So the 1225 is probably my favorite Berkshire locomotive. It is the only Berkshire locomotive that currently survives into preservation without the flying number boards. And while flying number boards have grown on me, I know I've said it a few times, I prefer the 1225 without the flying number boards. That being said, even when they do go back up, I'll admit the 1225 is impressive no matter what it does. I don't know what it is about the locomotive, but I absolutely just love the 1225. The Pere Marquette 1225, just reiterating for those who don't know, is the inspiration for both the book and the movie The Polar Express. Chris Van Allen played on the locomotive as a kid when it was outside of Michigan State University. So at the end of 2017, I thought that I had done so well with the 1225. I said, you know, as much as I love the locomotive, I don't want it to become old, and because I pretty much did chase it on at least once of every one of its excursions that past year, the Howell Melon Fest, the Curwood Highlander, when I had throttle time, and one day of the Polar Express, I had decided that in 2018 I would not go out to see the 1225 as much as what I had in 2017. Initially, when looking at the 2018 schedule and seeing when the 1225 was operating, I was originally not going to go to the Curwood Highlander. But I decided I wanted to go back because there were still a few shots that I wanted to get, and with every chase, I'm sure after we're all done chasing something, there's probably afterwards we find out about a different shot that we wish we would have gotten while we were there. Now with that being said, I knew I wanted to go back to the Curwood Highlander. I did want to go to Howell again, but after the fact that me and Action covered a lot of spots in Howell, I decided to not go to Howell for a year. However, I still want to go back to Howell for a Melon Festival. So that might be in our future this year if there is excursions again, but that's neither here nor there, because as I was recording this video, the schedule was tentative. When I went to the Curwood Highlander this year, I was hoping the flying number boards would be off of the 1225, because in 2017, on the very last day of North Pole Express excursions, the crew decided to put up the flying number boards of the 1225. And while I was glad all of 2017 up until that point didn't have flying number boards, I was still bummed they went back up literally that quickly. I was hoping they would come down in 2017, but believe it or not, all year in 2017, the 1225 had the combined CNO Pere Marquette look. That's what I call it because the running number boards are still up. If it was in the CNO look, the running number boards would be down. If it was in the Pere Marquette look, the flying number boards would be off. The 2018 Curwood Highlander, I thought I did a lot better than 2017. The reason being, in 2017, I didn't know how much time I'd have to get from spot to spot to spot. and I wanted to stay ahead of the 1225 right after the locomotive would pass, and I got a few coaches in the shot. So this year I was determined not to do that. This year, pretty much for most of the day, me and Toledo Rails kept running into one another. While we did not follow the exact path, we did have a pretty similar route, and the 2018 Curwood Highlander was another success. 1225, as always, like I said, puts out a great show. I got a few more variety shots than what I'd gotten last year. The biggest bummer that day was when the sun was out perfectly at the Ithaca grain elevators and at the Ithaca curve. The second the 1225 comes on the track, there come in the clouds and no more light. But ain't that how it goes? So after the Curwood Highlander, I knew I was going to go out for a North Pole Express excursion, and this year I decided to go out Thanksgiving weekend to go chase the North Pole Express on a Friday night excursion and on both Saturday excursions. Friday night excursion, I decided to hit up all the old points that I've shot in the 1225 at multiple times before: the departing shot, the S-curve and Owasso shot. I decided to go up to North Delaney Road, I think it is, get the shot of him coming across there where he comes across the two roads. Went to the Carland elevator and went straight for Ashley because last year my shot got screwed up in Bannister. Saturday morning, I decided to get new shots, including standing in the area where the freight train had derailed the weekend before, going by another furniture factory. And as you see in the video, I got a few different locations, and I even found my favorite spot from the Curwood Highlander in 2017. While the North Pole Express and the Curwood Highlander were both great chases in 2018 and in 2019, even though it's kind of weird to do a little bit of a memory vlog of 2019, I will cover right now of the 1225's Photocharter with Lerro Productions, which was the first Photocharter with the 1225 since 2009. And on day one, the 1225 faced northbound. The lighting wasn't that great, but I thought the 1225 once again put on a tremendous show. And the thing that always amazes me with the 1225 without there in Michigan, there isn't really a lot of grades. I know the best grade on the whole line is out in Cadillac, from Manton to Cadillac, I believe, which I'm hoping for the 1225's crew to do an excursion to Cadillac again this year. And it's been about 3 years now. But the 1225 really thundered and put on a great show. And the first half of the day we rode, and then the second half, quite a few of the different people who were partaking in the charter decided to chase. And I decided to chase as well, because with this charter, I really wanted to get some unique shots of the 1225 that I had not gotten before. The early morning shots we shot out in a field I'd never shot at before. We shot at a bridge, the only real trestle on that line going north. There are a few other bridges here and there, but they were nothing like the one we shot at. And we did the shots at King Road, which was pretty cool because I shot on different sides of King Road, which again I had never shot on before. But with this, I really wanted to get shots I'd never gotten before. So I started with my usual departing shot. I love getting the shot of the 1225 leaving the Steam Railroading Institute, especially with the cylinder cocks open. I got my shot at the big S-curve, but instead of getting it from the S-curve, I wanted to get it from below with the factory. And day one was just great. We got multiple different shots. I even found where the cemetery was, which I'd seen beforehand in a video from Train Fest 2014. And when I asked the person who shot the video, unfortunately they couldn't remember because they were not from the area. I also got a few different unique shots at the Carland elevator. I partook in the night session on day one. I did not partake in the night session on day two with Rosie the Riveter because on day one, I knew there would be some run-bys at the Carland elevator, which had been done with the 765 back in 2009. And again, I was not disappointed. And actually that night, I would like to make the comment, during one of the run-bys, I saw the 1225, and this is just my opinion, I could be very wrong, I saw the 1225 go the fastest I've ever seen it go. It was at track speed, no doubt. It wasn't like 765 flying with the Joliet rocket. It was probably 35, 40 miles an hour. I don't really know what the track speed is out there, but it was just cool. The one thing I will say, I did not like the appearance of the 1225 for the Photocharter because the running number boards were down, and when the running number boards come down with the flying number boards up, I just don't like that look of the 1225. I know that is the historically accurate C&O look of the 1225, but as I've stated multiple times, the 1225 is the one engine I really appreciate the original look of. But anyhow, I'm Christian.